are in.
There we go. We got intro music now. I set my Roadcaster back up, and now I feel like we're a radio show again. Welcome to PT Breakfast Club. I am coming to you from the frozen tundra, which is redundant because tundra means frozen ground. But I used to like it when they used to do those. What were those videos on like ESPN? They would like do like the weekend up the. They would like update the week, and they would always do like welcome to Green Bay on the frozen tundra. They would like essentially turn like a football game into like a Smithsonian or National Geographic movie. They were like all like they Ken Burns it. Anyway, that's why I'm wearing a winter hat right now because it's cold in my house and I got the fire going in the background. I'm Jimmy McKay. That's Tony Maritato. Dave Kittle is in the wild.
We've got our grout fit on. Our gray outfit
on. Yes, we do. Gray on gray on gray. We're gonna wait. I have two topics teed up. I'm going to talk about an APTA Facebook post that went sideways and how to make it not go sideways anymore. And did you see? Oh, you saw on LinkedIn because you liked it. We mentioned before I've been doing a series of posts to increase visibility, and I've been sort of doing, quote, the work for free in public, but then giving it away. What I mean by that is I'm on LinkedIn going, hey, if MedBridge hired Jimmy McKay tomorrow, here's the first three things that I would do from a communications visibility standpoint. And here, I mean, I'll give you the recipe. I don't care. I go to AI and I have a formula for that I want the post to be. And then I go to MedBridge's web. I just have like a little sequence. I go to their website. I make a point where I don't hang out on the website or the socials for more than 60 seconds. And that's probably longer than I should be. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of if I'm just a regular person tripping across MedBridge's website, Instagram, whatever, what do they see, hear, smell, taste, all of it? Because I'm asking, what I want to give AI is, what's the snapshot view? Is someone sticking around? What do they think they do? And then I use all these like things. So I hang out for about 20 minutes to a half hour, compiling and talking. And then I write this post. And of course, I tag the company in it. I've been doing that. And I've gotten 4 phone calls booked from like decent people, you know, position-wise in these organizations, MedBridge, a couple of the other ones. I'm excited to see where it goes. I had one of them yesterday. It was a really great conversation. It's cool. I did, and you saw the one I did last night, right?
Yeah.
I did concierge pain relief.
So the people who know. The people who know understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. They had great responses to it. My question to you, and I think for the audience watching, listening, how do we apply that to a private practice? How do we apply that to a, regular therapist, practice owner who wants to do this right now?
Do it yourself. Go to your own website, right? And then train the GPT or just start the discussion. Hey, listen, it's really hard to look at ourselves. It's really hard to take stock of what we do right. It's hard to tell our own story, hardest, because you have this thing I said before called the curse of knowledge. You know too much. So do that. Do exactly what I just said. Screenshot your own website, put it in ChatGPT, go to your own socials. Maybe like you can take the screenshot or a couple of videos that you've done, just break them down. And then say, and then explain who your ICP is. Who is the person you're trying to talk to? Who is your ideal customer profile? Who is it? And then is it obvious to them based on what I've given you of what they get out of it, why they should pick you, all those things, and then run a self-analysis. And then take that information and honestly try to synthesize it. It's simple, not easy.
So Dave's here. I want to hear Dave's and yeah. What was your
response? Did you see my LinkedIn post about you last night? You're not on LinkedIn at like 11 o'clock at night like I am. So
I'm actually striving to go to bed closer to 10:30 these days.
I think I shared it way before that. But the series of videos I'm doing, if I worked for XYZ, here's the first 3 things I do. I did you last night because I was like, oh, I'll do it. And then Dave will see it and we'll have something to talk about. But maybe this is better. Maybe we're getting a cold snapshot.
Walk me through it.
All right.
I haven't seen it.
Give me a second here while I bring it up because I share a lot. I've turned LinkedIn in the last month into my personal Twitter because Twitter, I got to be honest, I used to be a huge fan of it and now I think it's a garbage dump. I hope it comes back, but I've sort of started to treat LinkedIn that way. It doesn't really operate that way, people aren't as fast and don't have as many conversations. But here it is. So, and I'm just going to like reveal the thing. I purposefully did things I already know that you're working on, but I needed to talk about it. So, all right. If concierge pain relief, is this on the screen? Can you guys see this? Oh, no. I didn't bring it.
No.
Well, that's not stupid. All right, there we go. If concierge pain relief hired Jimmy McKay, me, tomorrow, here are the first 3 things I do. Yes, I'm saying this publicly. Free ideas. You're welcome, Dave Kittle. Concierge pain relief is doing a lot right. New York City house calls, still the most slept on differentiator in the entire industry. I still believe that. Still a clear 3-step process patients actually understand. So do this, do that, get that. 24/7 responsiveness. And we'll talk about that at the end and how you have that and how you did that. That was a while ago that we talked about that.
Been doing it, baby.
Here's the truth most PT clinics don't want to hear. Everybody says they're one-on-one, but Dave actually is in New York City. And CPR is sitting on something most clinics would kill for. A real New York City concierge PT brand, elite patient results, and a YouTube channel that's already better than 95% of health content online, but still undiscovered. So I said, let's fix that in 3 steps. We've talked about this before. I would hire a videographer, a D-Rock, if you're a fan of Gary Vee. I would just have someone be like, get the right person, invest in it, and say, this person's just going to follow Dave around or one of his clinicians around all day. And then he's going to follow clinician 2 on Tuesday, clinician 3 on Wednesday. And then they're going to turn it into the showing of new real New York apartments, real patients, real problems, and solutions that were delivered behind the scenes. I said in this post, this is TikTok crack. Kids, don't smoke crack. Kids, this is TikTok crack. Turn the invisible into the unforgettable. I like turn the invisible into the visible. Number 2, turn patient transformation into stories, not statements. You have, I mean, even if you just went back through your reviews, you could do those in, like, you don't need the person sitting in front of you. You could have the clinician read the review about them and like talk about.
I like that. I like that.
And de-identify them. Do you remember who this person was saying these glowing things about you? Oh my gosh, yes, that was that person on the Upper East Side, and she had the thing, and oh my God, like what? Why do you think this resonated? She couldn't do the thing, and now she can go get bagels again, and she couldn't get her newspaper. I don't know. Stop posting patient had knee pain, now better. Start posting a Broadway dancer couldn't make opening night, and now we got him to curtain up. A founder couldn't sit for board meetings. Here's how we fixed that in 48 hours on call. People don't remember improvements. They remember story arcs. New York City is an island full of arcs. And then the last one I think we need to talk about, I purposefully left this sort of Easter egg in there so Dave would have something to pick at. Your YouTube channel is good. You have someone else doing it. Keep doing that. But
hang on. Dave, do you have a YouTube channel for your business?
No. I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you, Tony, for
that was the thing I left in there. That was like, well, actually, so your YouTube channel is clinician facing. And I still think that concierge pain relief, because I looked and I didn't see one, but that doesn't mean there is one. There isn't one though, right?
No, I have spoken with Nate about it. I actually talked to Nate about this before I ever started the Dave Kittle Show. So yes, it's in the works. It's just a lot on my plate. So I need to, delegate stuff. But yeah, it's somewhere in the pipeline.
You would tell me which one leads to revenue faster, Dave Kittle talking to clinicians or Dave Kittle talking to patients?
Well, just to clarify, you guys know this, but for the audience, the owner, the physical therapy practice owner or clinician facing YouTube is meant for off-market deal flow for owners to reach out to me to potentially sell their practice. So that's a long-term play. It's not short-term income.
Yeah, not.
Yes, a consumer-facing prospective patient-facing YouTube would be money in the bank sooner and will help with lead gen and marketing and nurturing leads or people over time or all that to get more leads. Yeah, so that would be sooner or near term new patients, which would be money in the bank.
Dave's current YouTube channel is going to pay college tuition, and if there's even a college when his kid is, in 18 years, whatever it is. If we're on the move, Mars College is going to be expensive. University of Mars is going to be super expensive. I love the fact like Tony's actually he just had to dip out of the live stream because he's like, I got to eval, gotta go. It doesn't even say it. I love it. Real stuff. I love it.
Good morning.
So this strategy, by the way, before you jumped on, has worked. I have 4 phone calls with 4 organizations that I did profiles of. Not bad, right? Like if I'm poking the bear in a good way, I hope people see that, right? Like I'm poking the bear in a good way where I'm like, hey, listen, you're brilliant. You're great. Why don't we do more of this? So that's the idea.
I love it.
Okay, I promised I would talk about this topic too. Or do you have it? What do you want to talk about? Because I have other topics that I've teed up.
Well, I still haven't even opened LinkedIn as we've been talking.
That's okay.
Any comments, anything
Oh,
underneath
that's a
that?
good question. Did anybody comment on that? I don't like how LinkedIn, I've got to like go scrolling and scrolling. Yes, one guy. Oh yeah, a bunch. You got 10 comments.
Oh,
Let's see what they are. First of all, I read this guy's name. This is a real PT's name. His name is, I'm going to put it back on the screen. This sounds made up. He sounds like the most interesting man.
I think I know what
Dos
name you're talking
Equis
about.
guy? He sounds like the Dos Equis guy. Dr. Freeborn Mondello.
Yes.
I am not making fun. That is the coolest name I've ever heard. Is that real? Like, that sounds like you're the Dos Equis guy. That's what the Dos Equis guy's real name is.
I think it's real.
Dr. Freeborn Mondello. That's the coolest name I've ever heard, right? So he goes, hey, love the advice. He says he's constantly struggling to tell his brand story. And I went to his website, which actually looks very, very good. He says, I'm constantly struggling to tell the story in a way that resonates and hits home. Sure does not come naturally to me, or it seems like most of us in the PT world, far easier to scale up clinical skills, but those sure don't fill the schedule. And here's my response, and I'll say it again. Dr. Freeborn Mondello, two things. One, telling your story is simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. If you don't have the T's and P's, it can get harder. I call the T's and P's. You need the tools, the training, the time, the people, and the process. If you don't have all those 5 things, everything is like Sisyphus pushing a rock up the hill. It's hard. And it said it's far easier to tell someone else's story than your own because you have the curse of knowledge. You know too much. You're trying to tell 40 different aspects. You can't. And then number 4, I said I'm bad at math because in the beginning I said 2 things, but then I told 4th. I said 3 things. So Dr. Freeborn Mondello, you're not off, and this is not a random problem. You're common. What else? Will Boyd said this would make great. This is why I did it. See, I said this. He said this would make great Breakfast Club episode. I said, I mean, because I timed it. When did I release this? Last night at, I don't know, 14 hours ago. I can't do math. And then somebody, I remember Ben Galen commented. Let me see if I can find Ben Galen's comment. He said something along the line of, I would love to see the step counts for his clinicians in New York City. And that made me think. A lot of offices do fantasy football leagues to build community. Dude, yours are never. You can't hear me? That's got to be you. I can hear me. Reload. Dave's clinicians are most likely never together in the same office. They're out on their own. They're in the wild of New York City. What are they going to do? They communicate via text. I'm pretty sure he has them come in every once in a while. But my point is, Ben Galen had a comment. I'll find it eventually. And he said, wow, I'd love to see the step count on those PTs, you know, up and down subway stairs and, you know, left and right and up and down long avenues. Like, yes, I think that would be a cooler team building thing than fantasy football. The cooler team building thing would be a step count. Can you hear me now, Dave?
I'm back. I can hear you. Thanks.
So I was saying, instead of fantasy football, your clinicians and you guys should do step count Olympics, like who wins the day, the week, the quarter, the year, because you guys are all over. You're walking. I'm walking here in New York City, right? As Dustin Hoffman would say in that movie with Robert Redford that I can't remember the name. So like that would be something, because that's my point. Ben Galen saying I want to see what their step count is proves my point about the stories. He's not from New York City, so to him, you live in like a movie set and you're doing the thing that he does, but in a different way. People want to see that, not just PTs. Patients need to see that. PTs want to see that. You need like, well, Ryan Serhant does a good job of that, right?
He
like,
does. He's crushing it.
Well, yes, when he makes a sale, he gets $1 gajillion, and he can just be like, give $1 gajillion to 3 videographers, and that's my neck. But that's point. Like, I made a post the other day on LinkedIn that said, like, 2026, I don't think I need to convince anybody that content's important anymore. I think I needed to convince people 5 years ago. We're past that. Now people are at the bottom of the hill going, fudge. What do? Do I do a phone? Do I hire someone? What does that cost? $100,000? $50? What? I don't know. It's overwhelming.
What was that comment there where you had my logo on the post?
That's the post.
Okay. I thought it was a comment.
No. So what I've also been doing is I'm getting more visibility when I put the logo. So I was just doing a regular post with just text. And then I decided to copy and paste the logo for recognition. Because you see how LinkedIn works. It only shows the first 2 lines of text, which means I need to make the LinkedIn post first 2 lines really spicy. And then I put the logo there because we like visuals. So that's what I was doing. I don't know what happened, but your camera went off, but it's okay because it's a podcast. So anyway, that's what I did there. But I also did, I also put that thing in about your YouTube channel because I knew that, but I wanted you to be able to be like, well, I'm on it. Don't worry about it, bro. I don't know. Dave can't hear anything. That's okay. It's a podcast. All right. Well, we'll stay with the theme of LinkedIn then. And I made another post. I know this shocks people who are fans of the show. I've again tried to turn my LinkedIn channel, my LinkedIn page into what Twitter used to be. So I'll bring this one up. And I feel like I need to preface this by saying some things. I don't know what's going on. We're having some issues. All right, there we go. So here's what I did last night as well. I'll stay in on LinkedIn, and if you have a topic, we can jump in. I'm waiting for Tony to come back because I have a topic with him, but he's treating a patient right now. From first glance, it looks like I'm taking shots at the APTA, and I kind of am, but I'm doing it like a cousin with love. And here's what I keep, because I talk to so many people who volunteer at APTA in leadership positions so often. And I think sometimes Jimmy comes across like the insane person. And I know Dave can attest because Dave's been on the other side of Jimmy. Sometimes Dave looks at Jimmy and the world looks at Jimmy like this.
Dude, that's just entrepreneurship, by the way.
It is, right?
That's a lot of days.
Well, the problem is I feel like I have the answer. How can you not see this? It's very obvious. So here's what I'm talking about with APTA. And again, I'm preface this by saying, and if you're a friend of mine and you work with APTA, you know I'm rooting for APTA. But I will not follow you blindly. I'm not going to do it. I'm not just going to clap if I see you going off the rails. So this whole post, and I had created a video, which is starting to get some steam on YouTube and Instagram. APTA talks about facts. They talk about features. There's an easy way to remember the difference, right? Facts and features both start with F, right? Features, facts. People buy things based on benefits. Those are emotion-based. So there was a post. Are you in the Uncaged Clinician Facebook group?
I am, yes.
Those guys are awesome. Go look for them. They have like 16,000 therapists.
They do respect. I've known one of the co-creators, David Bailiff, for I don't know, close to 10 years. He's incredible. I suggest to them to turn off the anonymous post, but again, that's just my bias. Who cares about it? Let's do anonymous posting, and now I am super anti. Unless very like in less than 1% of the situations. That's aside. Stop getting me off track, David. So my post was physical therapists are smart. Stop pretending they're stupid. When this post that was made by a friend of the show who did it with good intentions, I won't call him out, but if you go to the Facebook group, you can see what it was. He was essentially trying to get people to rally and come to APTA. And he did it the wrong way. Because what he's saying was, and he's right, here's the funny part. Everybody's right in this situation, except you're doing it the wrong way. My point is, he jumped into the comments or made a post and said, APTA is doing all these amazing things. We do advocacy. There's all these behind the scenes things that you don't see. We'll get to that. I know what you're going to say about that.
We do all these things. Show it. Don't freaking tell me you're doing amazing things. If I don't get me side questing. So the person who made this post was factually 100% correct. This person went and had the receipts. Anytime he said something, he posted a link to it. Awesome. Except here was the problem. In the comment section, people were talking about their emotions and what they're feeling every day as clinicians or owners. And they are also right. So you just have two people yelling past each other. This is like the cliche of every like movie where the parents are getting divorced. They're just yelling past each other. You don't take out the garbage. You don't love me anymore. Fact, you don't take the garbage out. Fact, you don't love me anymore. And then all you do, then it's just Rottweilers barking at Rottweilers. That's all it is. Just dogs barking at each other. And the funny part is, do you ever see those videos where the dogs are barking at each other through the fence? And then they wheel the fence back, and the dogs are just like, oh, hey, what's up? Like they're like, I'm gonna kill. You're so wrong.
That analogy, man, that could fit for current sentiment across the country in many ways.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
So here's what I went into detail with the post. Now I did some math because I wanted to touch on the fact people. Mandatory cover charge for APTA, you pay $295. Then you have to add in your state chapter. It varies by state between $31 and $210. Now you're up to $505 on the high side. Add in a section or academy. Those are optional. But if you want the details about how to be in private practice or orthopedics or pediatrics, you have to add that on. If you add national, a state chapter, and an academy, you're sitting at about $280. We're close to $700 a year. And that's with one academy, an expensive one. So if you come and you're like, I just want to be a member and get all the things and the information and the belonging, and also I want you doing the things in the background, like the advocacy, great. You paid $700. And APTA loves to tout, well, you get CEUs and discounts at Avis car rental and discounts on New Balance sneakers. Cool. Those are also features, not benefits. We can get into the weeds on that. And then I just put it in a juxtaposition because MedBridge is over there at $350 a year with, and I got to take a deep breath, 2,500 CEU courses, 50 live webinars, 60 certificate programs, 150 compliance modules, 8,000 exercise videos, 1,000 patient education videos, a mobile app, a guided pathway, remote therapeutic monitoring, AI motion capture, patient portal, full LMS, analytics, integrations, 360,000 members, and $60 million in revenue. Whew. For half
MedBridge makes $60 million a year.
That was my estimate based on how many members they said they had and the average cost. I used AI to get this.
Good for them. If
that's just the
I've never been, because I'm not a huge CEO taker. I've never been impressed by any of these companies. But if they're doing 60 million, good for them. Even 20,
right? Because what's your overhead? You're making miniature movies. You fly it.
IT and labor.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm saying that's it with air quotes. That's it. Just do it really well. Do it over and over. Do it for 2 decades, and then you get to make $60 million. So anyway, we'll get back to my post. Dave is equally getting me off. It's not just me. So again, my question after I do that math, why would any smart PT join APTA just for CEUs? You wouldn't. They don't, and the data proves it. So the problem and how I try to reframe it is treat membership and your fee like the cover charge. Dave, you ever been to a bar where you got to pay cover? Yeah, you're in New York City, right? You got to pay cover.
It's been a minute, but yeah, of course.
But yeah, you're not a bar guy. But when you go, I would even venture out to say if you go to a bar in New York City and there is no cover, you're probably like, this bar sucks. This bar probably sucks. They're not charging $10. This bar probably sucks, right? There's a bell curve, right? I like to go to the bars where my feet stick to the floor. If you give me a cover there, I'm not coming. I want to go to this deal. This bar is
dive bars.
Right, and the bar, Dive 75 on 75th in the Upper West Side. That's a dive bar. That's a great bar. All right, back to this. So what I'm trying to do is reframe. People don't go to bars for $14 vodka sodas. You can drink cheaper on your couch, and you can take your shoes off. So why are we nickel and diming PTs on the way in? Here's what I think you do, and I'm gonna parallel this with a YouTube channel. It'll make it real easy. Dave, how much does it cost to join your YouTube channel right now if I want to subscribe?
It's free.
Got it. Most of them are. Some you can pay, but most of them are free. 99.9% are free. Mr. Beast understands that his product is not videos. His product is his audience. How he gets and builds that audience are videos. I'm going to say this again because it might sound like Jimmy is a bit insane. Wait a minute. Mr. Beast's products aren't videos. Mr. Beast is a video guy, Jimmy. I've been to Mr. Beast. I've seen him. He did the weird Netflix thing where they, made them play the weird games. I'm going to say it again. The reason Mr. Beast can reach out to any brand on the planet right now and go, hey, I want to do a collab and you're going to pay me $10 million. And they will say yes immediately without listening to a pitch. They're going to go, yes. Is because he has that many people watching religiously. That is his product. He commands an audience. How he commands the audience is making great video content. Okay, now if we're locked in and you believe me Just have some suspended disbelief. Believe me there. Now go to APTA. Imagine you had 100,000 members paying, not being nickeled and dimed. Let's say, I don't want to give an objective measure. Just you pay one price, like Disney World. Oh, that's probably a better analogy. Dave, if you bring your kid to Disney World and you pay whatever to get in, and then you got to pay every time you get on the teacups and Space Mountain, you're going to feel what? Nickel and dimed. That's what APTA does. I'm sorry, the thing that you have is great. How you're selling it to me is bad.
I 100% agree. I respectful. I know we're live right now, so I'll say it nicely, but I think you've tiptoed the line for so long of like you want to kind of please like the AP Today and the organization because you work with them, and also like you're more okay with poking the bear of like staff therapists sometimes depending on the topic or whatever. But I love this. I 100% agree, and I think you should consider the pros and cons of continuing this approach.
I've said on LinkedIn, I've put it in writing and I have a timestamp on it. If this continues, I don't know. There are state chapters that won't be solvent in a few years. There are academies that will not be able to continue to keep the lights on. And keep in mind, none of them have buildings. They don't have to pay for a building and they can't keep the lights on because you're doing it wrong. Okay. So again, what I think you should do is make membership, number one, reasonable. And when I get in, let me have access to everything. Imagine you paid for Netflix and then you have to pay a quarter every time you push play on something. Dude, you'd feel pissed.
Well, actually you do though, because Netflix and Hulu and all these others, they have ads inside. So I believe those platforms are nickel and diming us.
Wait.
You pay $10, $12 a month and then
ad free. You can pay for ad free.
You got to pay a little bit more. Right.
Do that. I've said this to leaders at academies. Keep your membership model. Let's beta test this. Let's do membership plus. What does that mean? Well, take up all the CEUs that you have in your academy. Right now, people have to pay individually. Offer me an option where I can pay the regular membership cost, or door number two, I pay a little more, but I have unlimited access to all the CEUs you provide. Now, you can't charge me what the cost would be if I went around and bought that a la carte. That doesn't make any sense. You got to give me a discount on that. That's Netflix, right? And everybody looked at me like I was crazy, and their biggest argument was, we'd lose so much money. And I go, okay, let's math this. Even if 5% of your membership did that, what would that do to your revenue? And then the room gets quiet because they know I'm right, but they emotionally can't attach. Show me 10 years. Show me the last 10 years, year-over-year sales of your CEUs. It's lukewarm at best. You cannot say it's valuable when no one buys it, especially when you're framing it bad, and especially when the math don't math. So I say people don't pay $14 for a vodka soda. You go for the vibe, the community, the belonging. And yes, maybe to meet someone cute. Winky emoji. That's why you go to a bar. I think you come to APTA for belonging. I think belonging is the product, not CEUs, not newsletters, not journals. The real play, stop trying to compete with the $60 million juggernaut. Stop trying to survive on dues alone. Instead, what does Jimmy suggest? Bring in sponsors, man. Don't think this model works? Go to CSM, walk through the expo hall. Organizations are throwing money at you. They are burning piles of money to get attention of PTs. CSM is only like 3 or 4 days a year. Where's this model exist to let sponsors have access in exchange for them funding the awesome, the other 361 days a year? It's not. I know. Look, Jimmy sounds crazy because Jimmy, you're just a weird radio DJ turned PT. If this model worked, somebody would have done it already. They do. It's called NPR. It's called ESPN. This is a model. Audience is the product. Understand that. The audience is the product. That's why ESPN can demand Ford pay $1 bajillion for an ad during SportsCenter. That's why. Will people accept or reject this, Dave Kittle? Or will I just continue to just scream into the void forever until APTA comes to their sense? Here's the thing. Here's what I think will happen. You tell me, and then I'll answer.
I think it'll continue. I think it'll continue. I don't think APTA and any of these sections are going to do anything different with
Probably not.
all of these tools, whether it's video, all of the live video that's available, just free Facebook live video, YouTube.
Yeah.
They're just not going to change I don't think they,
I want them to, but they won't.
I don't think they're being pushed to financially, or
Say that again.
they're not, there's no incentive. They're not being pushed to change financially because they're not feeling a big enough drop off of members or whatever.
They're feeling that. Here's my opinion. I think you're onto it. They're not going to push the panic button until they're backed up on their own goal line,
which is what most businesses do.
They will not call the right play.
And if Will Boyd is still watching live, he was watching earlier. He commented on the live YouTube on PT Pinecast. He will agree 100%. He knows that businesses, and as big as these organizations and APTA or any of the sections or whatever, they're large, dude. They're not going to hit the panic button until it's too late.
Oh, it's too late. And
then what?
And it breaks my freaking heart because I want them to succeed. I do. I'm a stupid joiner.
Can we switch topics? Because yes, I think 100%. I would love to talk more of either health, wellness, video, marketing, patient-facing stuff to the audience who will actually take action, as opposed to these big old dinosaurs that will not take action.
Can I close with one idea and then we move on? Because we're at the halfway mark. All right. I can show you how to do everything that you need to do there in 3 circles. Okay. So we just highlighted what APTA is doing wrong. Let me highlight their problems. They need new members, but new members do the math that I just laid out, and they're like, that math don't math. So smart new members don't come. They need to keep their members around. Dave, who's the easiest, cheapest person, most reliable to market to? Current or past patients, right? I've said that before. So to all the clinicians out there, your email list is money and you're not touching it. And good care. The third is APTA sections and academies need non-dues revenue. They have none of that. So here's what we do. I'm going to put APTA as A, Jimmy is J, and then we have money sign. Dave just got excited because Jimmy's got a money sign on the screen. Usually I'm just talking about emotions.
There we go.
Here's my proposal. Let's say I did a post this morning about APTA pediatrics. Let's say you're APTA pediatrics and you're like, all right, Jimmy, I know I need to communicate more. And the more I communicate, the better that my current members will feel engaged. I communicate externally, new members, and I communicate the right message, which is belonging, not CEUs. Let's get that right. Fix the message, then amp it up. Essentially, I want to hire Jimmy full time. I don't have the money. I know that they're not lying either. They can't hire me full time. They couldn't do it. But they know they need what me and other people like me. I'm not just saying it's me. I'm not magic. They need communications. So here's my model. Dave, I want you to shoot holes in this. APTA and Jimmy meet and we say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to launch a YouTube channel for your academy. We're going to launch a podcast and we're going to create 10 times the amount of social media content that you're doing now. And you're going to do it with no financial risk. And they're like, okay. Sounds shady, but I'm still here, right? Like, this sounds like a used car salesman. And you're not going to have to pay Jimmy. Whatever you pay Jimmy, you'll still make money. So not only will you lose money on paying me and then hope the money shows up, you're going to make revenue. Are you skeptical right now? You should be, because I still sound a little bit like this guy.
But low risk, so keep going.
Low risk,
good.
Right.
If you're decision maker.
So I go to APTA Pediatrics and I go, you had a conference last month. Yes? And they're like, yeah.
No one knew about it.
No, actually, they have a well-attended. Well, their people knew about it, but extra. But could you have another 1,000 people show up and be happy? And they're like, well, of course we could.
Exactly.
They put on a great one-day event because here's why. In person, conferences work because that's where the belonging feels most tangible. My problem is, what are you doing the other 364 days a year? So hold on, Dave. Don't get me off track. So Jimmy and Pediatrics sit down and I go, we're going to launch the YouTube, podcast, social media content. And they go, yes. Like, we don't have the money. I go, great. Give me your top 10 sponsors from your conference last year. We will call them together and we will say, we're selling booth space for next year. Do you want it? Of course they do. They will pay you. They will overpay you. And then we give them, Dave, now we're talking Dave's world, an upsell. Listen, we have 3 spots for sponsorship of a YouTube channel, a podcast, and all of our social media content for the next 12 months. You just paid $10,000 to be in front of our members in person for 2 days. We are now offering exposure for the other 363 days of the year. We can start that tomorrow. How does that deal sound? So we make sure they pay enough to cover my costs before I ever pick up a microphone for them, and put non-dues revenue in their bank account so they can go do amazing things with it. And we just raise their external visibility, and we raise their internal engagement. Does this math, Dave?
It does. I just am under the, I don't want to say bias. If I were you, I just would continue to focus on
I'm doing both.
A practice who has one decision maker, or like 2 or 3, but they
No.
make decisions together, and the speed to decision to deploy money or time or effort in your type of offering is faster in a private practice compared to these committees of associations, and they're going to just kick the can down the road. They're going to, I got to talk to Mary, and Mary's got to talk to John, and John's got to talk to Tom, and then we got to schedule a Zoom, and then not everyone comes on the Zoom, and then one person that you don't even speak with can spoil this and say, this doesn't make sense. We got to spend money on whatever.
Long play, short play. I'm doing both. By the way, I didn't announce this. I won't say who it is. I signed my first clinic. Q2, live on site, 2 days, video, audio. And I priced it like Dave would price it. Good enough.
Good.
So I'm doing that.
So did you close an association?
Not yet. Hold on. Wait. Why does Dave have 2 different YouTube channels? Or actually, why does he have 1? Think about this. A clinic is going to be a transaction. What is this? Ongoing. I want to be so damn good for APTA Pediatrics or whoever that this is month over month. I'm making money to do all the things, which means I get to reinvest in my people, and they're making money. So to me, I'm doing short play, long play. So I agree with you. It will take a long time because that's how committees work. But once they say yes, my goal is overserve them, be so damn good they can never get rid of me, because I did what I said what I did, and I brought them money. So I don't disagree with you. You are 1,000% right. I did get a faster decision from the clinic. It was 3 emails and 1 phone call.
Shocking. I mean, it's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Now, I don't want to work for that clinic every month, though. I want to do a great job for this guy, and I'm going to case report the hell out of it. Cash PT. 3 locations in a major U.S. metro. It's not Dave's metro, Dave. I'm not coming after you. I'm not coming to, I'm not competing with Dave. But I don't think anybody competes with this guy. Wouldn't compete with Dave. He's brick and mortar.
But we have brick and mortar, dude. I keep telling you this.
I know. I keep forgetting. I envision you as a backpack, as a shoulder bag, and just out the street.
We're doing both now.
I envision you as like wearing, like I envision you like Ryan Serhant, just hanging out on the top levels of every.
We're gonna have to put out more video of in the office to show you over time that we do office visits. That's the only way. You have to show Jimmy video proof of what you're doing.
We talk to you billions of times in a week, and both of us still are like, Dave's just a backpack. He's just a bag, and he's over his shoulder. Maybe he's got a massage gun in there. I don't know. He's on a subway. He's in an Uber. He's on the tram thing that goes over the Hudson. I don't know. That's what we envision you. That's what we envision you. Anyway, so that's my 2 routes. Long play, APTA Academies. Listen, I'm a sucker. I want them to succeed, and I can see them doing the wrong thing. I'm like, I can freaking fix it. And again, it doesn't have to be me. I'm not saying I have magic hands, like I have the magic thing. I just mapped it out for you with 3 circles. That's the way you do it. That's the way you do it. If you want to do it, you call me. But make a damn decision, because Dave isn't wrong. All right, we're gonna change the topic now. What are we talking about? You wanted to go with what?
I want to just talk about health and wellness in general, and like some specific examples. One is like, have you noticed that there? What's the comment? What do we got?
That's Katie Sutton saying, in the words of previous Ohio Physical Therapy Association executive director, membership is personal. What others view as benefits, others view as features, and vice versa. Correct. Talk to me about features, and I'm going to snooze. Talk to me about benefits, and you have my attention. Dave has a utility belt like Batman. This is how Ben Galen views you. He thinks you wear a utility belt while you walk around the city. Katie says, Dave, we need proof of brick and mortar. We need photos of. We need video.
Okay. Certificate of occupancy.
If you hired me, Drew and I call this video the access granted video. Essentially, it's a music video that walks, like literally it'd be Dave being like, no sound, just mute, just hype music. And Dave like waves at the camera, turns around and opens the door, and the drone flies in the door. And then you have the things that are happening in your clinic. Every clinic needs its own music video as the first video on YouTube. That's why Katie is saying, I need to see proof of brick and mortar. All right, keep going. What were we talking about?
So a couple things about health and wellness across the US that I think physical therapy practices could potentially either learn from or maybe even use. But like, have you noticed that there's more and more, whether it's Equinox or Lifetime Fitness, or those are big national chains, or even like the regional ones, have you noticed that more and more of them are adding like health and wellness, not just like, so like LA Fitness, I used to go to LA Fitness in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, when I was like in high school and college and summers and winters home or whatever. And they always had like the dry sauna, and some of the other locations had a dry sauna and like the wet sauna, like with like moisture, and you go in and you get soaked, and obviously you have like a bathing suit on or whatever. So that's been in existence for decades. Now a bunch of these different national and regional gyms are adding things like red light therapy and of course the cold plunge, which is a little bit easier.
Yep.
And they're adding a little bit more of the health and wellness stuff, and maybe some massage or chiro or maybe acupuncture, and every, different, depends on the offering. But there was McKinsey, it's one of the largest consulting companies in the US, and they come out with a future of wellness report every year. So I have pulled up on Gemini. I have a little bit of their bullet points from the 2024 report and the 2025 report. They talk about things like the health, like the weight loss injections, like the Ozempic and Wegovy, the GLP-1s and that type of stuff, and skincare and all that normal stuff that we all know about. Health, aging, and longevity. 60% of consumers now rate healthy aging as a top priority. This includes spending on supplements that now claim to slow cellular aging, and like the test kits and all that type of stuff. But also like in the 2024 report, the Gen Z millennial component of the report, they're calling them maximalist optimizers, which
like get the most.
They account for the highest spend. They are experiential. They use health tracking tech. They're willing to pay a premium for science-backed products.
Yes.
Let me just pause that for a second. Then the boomers, who were apparently termed the health traditionalists. They represent a smaller portion of the wellness spend, 13%, preferring simple, practical solutions like standard vitamins and walking, and are less likely to experiment with new tech and trends. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I don't know, like there's a bunch of this we're talking about. We're talking about at-home services, gyms, health and wellness. The one thing that doesn't make sense to me is the Gen Z and millennials across the US have had a lot of challenges with like not making enough money, not having enough income, not being able to have mortgages, starting families later, like all the demographic features.
And they're right.
And then then the boomers are folks that are like already established, and they're somehow only accounting for 13% of this study. So I can't argue with McKinsey's research and report, and I'm sure they pull this in from a lot of data points. But to me, the folks that I see in New York City, the boomers are the people that spend the most with us, and the Gen Z millennials respectfully are not always going to spend $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 with us because they're price conscious and they want to use their network insurance and all that. So that's just one way to kind of segue this stuff that I'm just talking about into the physical therapy world, whether it's insurance or out of pocket or whatever.
So break down what you think, what they're saying versus what you're seeing. Do you lose audio again? That's okay. Ben Galen has a comment. Ben is saying what I was about to say, which is you already have fish in a barrel scenario at a gym. This is like, we go back to the APTA thing. Once you're a member, overserve the crap out of them. So Ben is saying you already have a fish in a barrel scenario at a gym where these people are inherently invested in their health. Unfortunately, you can't say the same about PT clients because a lot of times PTs will come to us, we fix you. But what about brick and mortar called the recovery zone? I got a friend down the street, John Denoyles, great PT. You know how you know he's a great PT? Because I go to him. That's what ask your PT who he goes to. That's
your favorite PT's favorite PT.
Your favorite PTs. That's a great freaking line. Imagine you did a fake
That's what I thought you were
commercial.
getting to right there.
That's a great line. Your favorite. You know what? Your like do a commercial where the PT's treating patients all day, and they're like, "Oh, PT's hard," and like, "Oh, the PT's treating someone. They're on the table, and they're like, my back," and like, "Oh," and the PT closes up shop, closes the laptop.
They leave their practice and they go somewhere
They go to your clinic. That's your commercial. Your favorite PT's
That's
PT.
smart. That's smart.
Someone
That's
steal
smart.
that? Just tag me in it because I want to see your video when you make it. You could make that on an iPhone 2 tomorrow, but you won't. Anyway, so what Ben is saying is I agree because I want to hear what Dave's question is about all this information. Ben is saying you have a fish in a barrel scenario. People who are in a gym, you can pretty well assume they're invested in health or they're just there to wear spandex and stand around. But they're probably invested in their health. And now you overserve the crap out of them. Dave, a second ago, I was saying this is like the APTA scenario. People want to belong. So when you get there, what do? Nickel and dime them. Imagine you're at a gym and every time you want to use the cold plunge, you have to insert a little, like a $5 bill into a slot. You kidding me? Of course, that's ridiculous. That's how it feels to be an APTA member. But I'll stay off of that. So saying, what about a brick and mortar called the Recovery Zone? Oh, I know why. This is why I brought up John DeNoyles. He's doing that down the street for me. He started this like a year ago. He had a clinic, started during COVID. Not on purpose, but he just started the clinic and then a pandemic happened. He wound up not only surviving, but thriving, second location. And he got so big that he was able to, the place next door became vacant. He blew out a wall and created one of these. It was a recovery zone. So yes, all the things. He's got the Normatec boots. He's got the this, the that, the. So the answer to Ben Galen is, you have to give me a good reason why you wouldn't be doing this. That's what I would need. If I was an employee, I would need to say, hey, boss, why aren't we doing this? Because I think we can put butts in seats. And that's the goal, isn't it? So what are you thinking about this data? What is the big...
So let's use... So I just jumped over to resolvenewyork.com. I found the website. So
yep.
the recovery room, is that a separate brick and mortar? But it's next to it?
It's just another... He took over the next place and blew out a wall. And now you just walk into that and you can book sessions. There's a couple things about it. I don't want to take, it's not like taking shots. Number one, he did the most important thing 98% of the way there, which is doing it. I think you need to communicate better, right? What do you see when you go there? Because you're going cold.
So I see infrared sauna, red light therapy, compression therapy. He's got clear and transparent pricing, which I know Jimmy and many other folks appreciate. Yes. Recovery light, 1 session per week. So you get 4 of these per month, $89 a month. Performance recovery.
That's where I would go. Flag on the play.
All right, why?
Here's what I would do. And I know Tony agrees with me. I will go out on a limb and say 100%. I would go to the front door of the recovery zone at Resolve Physical Therapy in Montgomery, New York. I would put a lock on the door that I could program individual codes. So Dave has a code, and it's different than Jimmy's code. And then I would charge $300 a month for 24-hour, 7-day-a-week access. I would throw some cameras in there. I would lock it off from the rest of the clinic. I would make sure, like, hey, listen, if someone can, but that's what I would do. A guy down the street from me built like a he shed, like a little man shed, put like one of those $10,000 golf simulators in there in his backyard. He wanted one. And then he probably had a buddy like me that goes, do you want it to pay for itself? And he goes, how do I do that? I go, you build a website. You have people, you give each guy a code, you stock it with water and beer, and then you book it for an hour or 2 hours. That's what I would do at the recovery zone. Stop nickel and diming. Give me unlimited access. Dave, how many times a week do you think the average person would actually come? Twice?
Yeah.
Make it worth per month. If you use it 3 times, you're in the positive. And then you will have the problem of you need to expand again. It's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jimmy is the crazy guy from Always Sunny. Maybe I'm nuts with the red string. I got to tell it. I think you don't charge them per. That feels nickel and dimed. If the recovery zone is high end, do you think high end places like Disney nickel and dime you? They get money.
No, it's just premium pricing.
That's the only thing I would do differently. And I haven't talked to John about it. That I would love to hear if anybody else is doing sort of a recovery zone. Do I think it's a good move to do it? Brilliant. Chef's kiss. No notes. I guess there is notes. Make it unlimited for X number of dollars per month. Because what happens to gym memberships, Dave? Imagine you had to pay $7 every time you went to your gym. Gyms are not dumb. They're in the behavior change business. We want you to come. We want you to keep coming. And even if you're not coming, we actually don't want you to come. We want you to keep paying. I would make it an offer they couldn't refuse, but don't make them reach into their wallet more than once. And then you auto pay that. I'm very sorry, but people want this.
Do you see, so this whole recovery stuff, the wellness recovery room, so if, let me ask, this practice, your buddy's practice, Resolve PT, are they all, do they like in network with every insurance? Really? They're out of network?
I think he does. I think he'll give you a super bill, and I don't want to speak for them, but I believe they're cash. John was smart enough to be like, I don't want you if you're not invested in your health. And it's hard to message. Simple, not easy, right? But no, they're not in network. No, he's like, no. And here's why. There's a chain down the street. We have Access Physical Therapy. This is where do you know Access? Do you know the Albany? The Albany?
They're great. Huge, like huge. 50 or more locations.
Started here. No, I think they're like in 70. They started here. They're down the street. They're everywhere here.
And their volume, their insurance.
Their volume. And here's the thing. John and the Albaneses, they see exactly what each other is doing. And they just nod at each other like, good work. Hey, keep it up. Keep it up. They're not in competition because the Albaneses with Access PT is going after a certain person. And John, conveniently located across the street from my high school, because he's like, I want to work with active athletes, runners, people who are invested in their health. And yeah, it costs money. And then guess what happened? People were like, that's not going to work. And then 5 years later, John has a second location in Florida, New York.
Yeah, why is there a Florida in New York?
I don't know. Why are we Orange County? There's no oranges here. I don't know. But we're the original Orange County, California. And this is where Orange County Choppers are from. It's not California. It's Orange County.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. I went to high school with Mikey.
I had no idea. I thought it was California.
No, I went to high school with Mike Tuttle. People are like, what's he like? I'm like, did you ever watch the show? And they're like, yes. I'm like, that. Mikey did no acting in that show. No acting. He was that guy in high school. He was just a big, lovable, crazy guy. Awesome. Anyway, right across the street from high school. And then he expanded to Florida, New York. Florida, probably a half hour to 40 minutes away, because that's how far people are willing to drive for PT. So he's like, boop. The only thing I would change is I would make it unlimited access.
I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. And I know that if it would be better if we actually had your boy Mike on here. John, excuse me. Mike was the Choppers guy. John, so do you know, like with his active population, do you happen to know like his avatar, like his ideal client
for the website?
For the therapy side?
Is it on the website?
I see runners, active adults.
That's it. Bing. I designed the website a long time ago. Someone has now zhuzhed it up, but I built the roots, and I can't build websites. But I was literally like, if you want active, he's a baseball dude. His kids are insane athletes, gymnastics and baseball. So he's a sports guy, right? My former graphic designer from the radio station designed his logo, the circle with a little guy in it. That's my guy, John King. Look him up.
Love it.
That's who he wants. He wants active people, but he'll take anybody who wants to be like a 65-year-old person who wants to be active is John's person. He wants a psychographic, not a demographic. He wants, are you willing to invest in your health and get your stuff together and get back to doing, I don't care what you do. Can you do it? Yes. If you work with me, yes. If you trust me, we can do it. He's the guy I go to, and that's why he has a second location. Simple, not easy.
Do you think, and again, I know this is a question because if he's here, it would be for him, but when you have the red light therapy, the sauna, this, that, do you feel like there's always close to consistent crossover of like your ideal client is on the physical therapy side, they're a runner, they're an active mom who's, coming off of, postpartum stuff, whoever it is, weekend warrior, baseball player, ex-baseball player. Do you think the same subset of those folks do the health and wellness membership? Because then it's a slightly different offering. It's at the same brick and mortar location, but the service is different. It's more like it's, amenities, but it's kind of like solo, and there's no like, and of course these two can cross over. These two can refer, clients from one service to the other, and that's the beautiful thing. That's why he built it, obviously. Yeah. And so kudos to him. I'm always curious, like as folks have this and they're rolling it out, what's the crossover like for example, with all the health and wellness service stuff, the red light therapy, the sauna, all that. I would love to ask him, like, is it just folks that are 35-year-old and plus? Are they 40 or 45-year-old and plus that do it? Is it a lot of 16-year-old baseball players? Like, I would just be curious as to like
Yeah.
what he sees with the flow of the demographic going to the sauna, compression, red light therapy.
Of all of my friends, John would be the least happy if I spoke for him. Like some of my friends,
Okay,
like,
we should have him on.
But I'm texting right now. If he texts me back, I want to be like, call, because I can pipe him in. Here's what I see anecdotally, and then I'll let John answer when we get a response, either today or next live stream. I see the range of people because I drive by. I drive by all the time, and I peek. And he's smart. He keeps the windows open. You see right in from a very busy highway. Not stupid. Big sign. I see a range. I do see the 16-year-old kid who's playing high school baseball. I see the dude my age who just wants to not stop playing beer league hockey, and I've seen older adults. So it's more psychographic than it is demographic. That's my anecdote, but that's also like and that's also who he shares on his socials, which I wish he would share more, which he would just hire my buddy Drew and shoot a bajillion things. But you have to, if I don't see me, I don't think it's for me. But people I've seen when I've just walked in to say hi is not one area. It's more of a psychographic than it is a demographic, I think. I think there's going to be a skew, right? There's going to be less 70-year-olds who are active, and that's unfortunate. But the ones that want to, in this 30-mile radius, go there. Seth Godin would say, people like us do things like this. But they're also smart. I see what they're doing in public. They're starting a run club. They did that a few months ago, and I was like, ding, Moneyball. Even if it, quote, doesn't go anywhere, it's going. Like, even if you just talked about it, even like, they're not lying, but I'm saying even if your clinic and even if you just lied and posted fake videos about the run club that never existed, enough juice from that. I'm not advocating lying, don't lie, but I'm just saying, even just seeing it, even if someone never went to your run club, they'd still be like, oh, they're for people like active, like me. Oh yeah, I'm like, even if you're not a runner, you're like, well, I'm a beer league hockey guy, so that's kind of for me, not the average place with beige walls. See what I mean? Like, even in this, and John was the first to say, I will have to call him out, people don't make decisions on where to go on social media, not in this zip code. And I'm like, oogie doogie. Because John wasn't a social media guy. He's not. And I'm like, then that is confirmation bias.
But now he is.
And here's why I think.
Or his team.
We have a whole episode. Yes, his team is a little bit younger and more social. His front desk admin is quiet, like John. John's not like me. I'm all over the place. I think his front desk person and I think his staff have chipped away at him and just been like, hey, listen, why don't we try it? Like Jimmy would come in and be like, we're blowing everything out tomorrow. We're changing everything. Because I move fast and break things. I think, and this is anecdotally, the change at Resolve Physical Therapy has come because he hired one PT, then he hired another, then he hired another. And they've slowly just said, why don't we try this? And when you hear someone like a woodpecker just pecking a little peck, eventually John's like, all right, fine, show me. And then a little win, and then another little win. And I think that's how things change.
I love it. I was looking on their social media to see if they're showing what type of clients or patients or customers are using the sauna, red light therapy, compression boots, all that. And I don't see it. So that also, I was trying to see if I could answer my question that way. But
and you should be seeing it, because if I launched a new product, you know what I would do for the next 60 days? Only that product. I would do 90% of that product and 10% everything else. I would make an insane offer for the first 3 months. It's $100 unlimited access. All right, fine. Let's reel it back. You're not going to let someone in there at 3:00 in the morning, but during our open hours, if you walk in and you reserve a time, you have unlimited access to the recovery room as many times as you want. The average person's not going to just pull up and just live there. And if they are, we'll deal with that problem later. But to kick it off, this is how Walmart got started. Walmart rolled into town and found the high school prom queen and the high school quarterback from 30 years ago. And they hired them and made them managers and greeters. So because everybody in town knows Steve, who was the high school quarterback.
Genius.
And then Steve just goes, oh, I'm over at Walmart. You see, dude, they got a chainsaws for $38. It's insane. I'm going to buy 4 of them. That is powerful. Question it. I think they're the richest family in the United States. So maybe Jimmy's just insane, or maybe I think you should just steal the strategy of what these organizations do and adopt it for yourself. So that's the only thing I would give a critique. John never asked for this, but he got it. That's the only thing I'll give a critique for Resolve is I do not want to see one session price. Not, you know what I would do a one session price for, Dave? $1. Your first 20 minutes is $1
for a trial.
Yeah, it's $1. It's $1. Do it. And then I'd say what would you price that at? Unlimited recovery room access. You can't get that anywhere within a 45-minute drive of this town.
Well, his price for 3 times a week is $179 per month. But most likely,
does he have a monthly price on there?
Dude, you cut me off. There was 3 tiers. There were 3 tiers. It's all right. I don't have it up now. Let me see. It was like 89, 100 something, maybe 125, 129, something like that, and then like 179. So there were 3 pricing tiers.
I would push John, and I would say do 179 unlimited. What's it cost you? What's the added overhead for that, Dave? Anything?
Other than the electricity, like nothing. Set up. I mean, you have to have some person set up the compression boots.
But you're already paying. They're already there anyway.
Right.
And then, okay, all right, well, let's go to the extreme. Let's slippery slope, Jimmy. Great. You have to book a session, and there can only be 2 people. Now it's exclusive. You got to get in early, or you could pay $500 and you could skip the line. If you got a problem, I'll solve it. If you have a good problem, like, oh my God, last story, then we'll do parting shots. When I was in Northeast Pennsylvania working for the radio station, we got called for a new sponsor, a new advertiser. This guy bought an old bowling alley. So Scranton was the metro and Wilkes-Barre was the metro. And then in between and around it's woods, man. I mean, there's some towns, but it's rural. This guy bought an old bowling alley 20 minutes east of Scranton, Pennsylvania, near Lake Wallenpaupack. And he put like an ungodly amount of money into an old bowling alley. But he did laser tag and batting cages and an arcade and a bar. He's 30 minutes east of Scranton, near Lake Wallenpaupack. There's no one there. And I'm touring it. And he's like, how are you going to... My job is come in and figure out how to tell the story on the radio. And he's like, bring the staff and they'll have fun. And I'm like, they're in their 30s. They don't want to come. Whatever, but we did. Bowling, laser tag, batting cages. And I go, I gotta ask, man, why not do this in Scranton where all the people are? And he goes, look how big this parking lot is. Like, I got a lot of parking. And I'm like, do you know what you don't have? Fucking
people.
And dude, hold on, here's the close. He literally looked at me and was like, oh shit. He realized he done up. He did.
Welcome to business.
Welcome to business. All right, parting shot.
Oh man. Well, I'll go 1A, 1B. 1A, I want to see you continue to have your offering more to private practices.
I know.
Speed to customer, speed to delivery. Testimonials will come faster, results come faster because the decisions are faster. Totally understand the long-term play of all these agencies, associations that you already have a lot of connections with. I get it. You want to kind of squeeze. You want to squeeze the juice out of the association fruit. I get it. And then just the health and wellness stuff. Like I always love riffing on this stuff. So I think it's part of the future of physical therapy, whatever you want to call the future of physical therapy, with the self-paced stuff. And the beautiful thing that we kind of don't always talk about, but like the red light, the sauna, the compression boots, whatever, people are paying out of pocket for those things. And they're like, yeah, of course that makes sense. Like of course that makes sense. Like it's $20, $179, whatever. Like people, so you're finding spenders, you're finding people that are opening their wallet for the health and wellness amenities or offerings. And that's why it's so genius by John and so many other people that are doing it, where it crosses over like, oh, and then also like when you're trying to run and now you have aches and pains, we have physical therapy. And oh, by the way, like, yeah, it's a higher dollar amount. Maybe it's $179 a visit or whatever he charges. whatever they charge out of pocket, but it's like they already have found spenders, or you have the patients that have already spenders, and now they're like, I don't need the one-on-one PT anymore, but I do like this health and wellness stuff. And
Right
you
over
keep them in your ecosystem on emails, and they stop in, in person. And then when a new ache or pain pops up, they sleep wrong one night and they wake up with a stiff neck or like a dead shoulder or whatever. They're like, oh, I was already going to go for the red light, and now it's like, let me. So both those two offerings are just so synergistic just to have like like a stupid business term, but like the synergies between those two make sense.
I would need someone to give me a very good explanation of why they wouldn't do things the way we're talking about them. And again, maybe we're both wrong and we're crazy, but Dave's the guy out there doing it. Jimmy is the guy in front of the dry erase board looking like a crazy person, but
we're all there. I
need you to convince me I'm wrong for this one. I would say understand what business you're in. APTA academies are in the belonging business, not the CEU business. Clinics are in the can you guide me business, not the intervention business. So for John, having PT next to a recovery room shows me he understands what business he's actually in. We're back on Thursday. We'll have more of this. Follow Dave on the Dave Kittle Show on YouTube. Tony Maritato, Total Therapy Solutions. On PT Pinecast, Concierge Pain Relief, CPR.
I gotta get new hats. Get a little.
I like how the initials. I never noticed it was CPR until I started doing the post and I wanted to shorten it. CPR is good. People, that's a thing. Oh, get better. Emergency.
Keep people alive.
4 hours.
Live better longer.
We're back on Thursday.